Good morning, Flosstube. Welcome to my channel. This is a channel about cross stitch. I am Tamara. I am the PD Stitcher here on YouTube and over on Instagram. And this is my channel about cross stitch. Sorry, Milo's moved. If you were here, if you just watched my wrap up of December, you know I'm wearing the same thing. I'm filming this right after. Milo and that one was on this couch behind me. He has now moved to the entryway, which is right over there, and is huffing and puffing because I don't know why. I just put food in his dish. You'd think that'd make him happy. Anyway, this is not a channel about Milo. This is a channel about cross stitch. If you are new, welcome. This is my 2024 WIP Parade, focusing on the WIPs that I have in 2024. Some of them are finishes. I don't have any of those finishes to show you. Sorry. A couple of them I've given away. This is just the WIPs. WIPs are works in progress if you are new to cross stitch, Flosstube, and don't know the vernacular. If you are returning, welcome back. You know that I can be scattered, and I appreciate you coming back every time for the crazy that I am. I have, leaving 2024, right now, I have 17 WIPs. It will be 18 by the end of the year, by the end of 2024. And that's one I'll share at the very end. What that one will be. So that I'm literally going to show you everything for 2024. I'm only starting one more thing before the end of this year. If you saw my 2025 plans video a couple videos back, that one is where I share the I think I shared 23 of the 25 new starts that I'm planning to start in 2025. Welcome again. I appreciate you all. Buckle in. This could be a long one. I don't know. I will try not to rush. I know that I tend to talk really fast when my videos are longer because I know they're long. And I don't know if you want to stay here for a long video, but if you're watching a WIP parade, you know that those tend to be longer because as WIP parades go, they share all of the WIPs that somebody has, and there's just a lot of information and a lot of content. So today is Saturday, December 28th. I will probably have this go up on the 31st. So by the time you see this, it will be the end of the year. Plus, it's going to take me a couple of minutes, a couple of days to edit this. I have started editing my videos again. We'll see how that goes. It is time consuming. My hat goes off, and kudos to all of you who edit your videos, each and every video. And some of you do some in-depth editing. I'm thinking of you, Miss Dina, over at Half Stitch Cross Stitch. I know you you do a lot of editing, and you input little screen covers between each section and each segment, and it's a lot, and I am impressed. I am impressed, and kudos to you. So here we go. I'm going to try to remember to tell you who the designer is, what it's stitched on, and any pertinent details about each project. However, if I forget, I do have all my notes over here on my computer, but if I forget to share something, it will all be in the description box below. So if you're interested in knowing what fabric something was on and I didn't say it, check that out. I also will be trying to edit, like I said. I will try to be putting in, if I don't have a cover photo in my bag, which I don't for any of my full coverage, anything that's on Pattern Keeper, I don't have those cover photos. I will be inserting them. However, and I will also try to insert a, if it's not a new start for 2024, I will try to insert a picture of what it looked like on the first day of 2024. However, I can't guarantee that all of them will have those, and I can't guarantee that I'm going to remember to say this is what it was and this is the starting picture. You may just see a random picture pop up because I realized during editing that I didn't say anything. So this is not my first rodeo. I've been filming for 4.5 years. Yes. I believe I started in August of 2019. This is not my first rodeo. However, sometimes it still seems like it is. And I appreciate those of you who stick with me through this. So here we go. So we're going to start with my oldest WIP and work my way to the newest ones. I only have one from 2019, and that is Christmas 2. It is by Ciro Marchetti, and it is charted by Heaven and Earth Designs, or HADE, and it is being stitched 2/110 on 25 count easy grid. Like I said, this is my oldest WIP. It is a little grimy because it's been opened and closed and touched, and I try to keep it clean, y'all. I really, really do. I keep them in bags. I keep them, but it's old, and I can't wash it because it's on easy grid. So I don't want the lines to go away yet. It will get washed, and it will get all fluffy and nice. But y'all, oh, this is what the cover photo looks like. I told you I might forget. I'm already the first one. There we go. And this is what it looked like at the beginning of 2024. And here is where it is now. All right, I'm going to have to back up. I do part my threads, so if that causes you stress, I apologize. But this is as wide as it's going to be. And I feel like I left myself pretty decent margins on either side. Haven't gotten to the bottom yet, so that remains to be seen. I started off doing diagonal blocks, and then I got to about here and said, I'm over halfway, so I'm just going to finish off and make sure I have enough fabric. And I do. So now I'm working across. I'm working across the second row of pages. I love it. I absolutely love it. I love the details in it. I can't wait to get to the nutcrackers. Those are my favorite part of this piece. And I don't have any of them in here yet, but they'll get there. So I love that when it's back here, it looks fairly solid stitching. When you get up, you can see, you can see some of the fabric shining through. But even so, look at that beautiful details. I love these. This is my favorite part so far that I've stitched, is this cluster of ornaments hanging. And I'm okay with the fact that you can kind of see the fabric showing through, because when it's back here, and this is what it's going to look like framed on my wall in the year 2075, when I'm 100 and something, but that's okay. You can't tell. And honestly, if it's framed on my wall and you come to my house, I expect you to look at it and go, ooh, that's really pretty. I do not expect you to come up and go, ooh, I see fabric. Because you can leave. If you're going to come up and say, ooh, I see fabric, maybe you're not really my friend. Actually, some of my friends probably would do that just because that's who they are. But, I'm not doing this. Sorry, now I have to pull my chair back up. I'm not doing this to enter into any contests. It's for me. And maybe in the year 2075, it'll end up on that wall in a nice, beautiful frame. When, at that point, framing's going to cost like $15,000. But, it is what it is. So, the next piece is Cardinal in the Snow, and this is from X Squared Cross Stitch on Etsy. One of my daughters bought this for me, I want to say for Mother's Day several years ago, because I started it in May of 2020. but it may have been for Christmas and I didn't start it until May. That's a possibility. But she bought it for me, regardless. It doesn't really matter. She bought it for me because I love cardinals. Cardinals made me think of my mom, who passed away in 2005. There's the thing that, when you see a cardinal, it's the spirit of your loved one who's gone on before, but also because she was an assistant principal for several years, and her school's mascot was the cardinal. And so that just, when I see cardinals, I think of my mom. So she bought that for me. And here is the cover photo. And here is where it was at the beginning of 2024. And sadly, there's not a lot of progress, because I haven't gotten to the cardinal yet. And, in my mind, I realize if I stitched on it more, I would get to the cardinal. But the background is boring. It's not boring. It's just not as much fun. We'll put it that way. This is being stitched on 28 count easy grid, 1/1 full cross. See, I learned with the tent stitch that it doesn't give complete coverage, so I started going to full cross after that. This one I started, like I said, in May of 2020. This is a paper pattern, so that also makes it a little bit harder, and it wasn't gridded well. Like, it's obviously gridded, you can tell, but there weren't blocks of 10. Like, there's no heavy lines to delineate blocks of 10. So I have to go in, and every time I start a new page, I grid off the blocks of 10 so it's easier for me to see. But here's where we are now. All of that. This is going to be a very long video if I talk this much for every project, but that's okay. I mean, it's a beautiful background. Don't get me wrong. It's just, it's not as much fun to stitch because all I'm seeing is like just blocks of color. And I'm a top left starter, especially on my full coverages, so it's hard. It's going to be a while before I get to that cardinal, unless I decide at some point I may decide to just go down, do some cardinal, and then go back up and do some background, and then work some more on the cardinal. That may be what's going to get me to like work on this project some more. I am pulling this out today and working on it for today, tomorrow, and Monday, and then Tuesday I'm doing a new start. So hopefully that will get a little bit of love in the next 3 days. All right, the next one is Pandemic. This is from Long Dog Samplers. This came out as a free pattern from them in 2020. They made it free during the pandemic. I find it very, cathartic to work on because I love the colors that I chose. They're greens and blues and teals. Well, not really greens, but blues and teals, greenish blues. And I started it in September, not November. Wow, September of 2020, and I'm stitching it on 40 count Week Style Works Angel Hair. This is the cover photo. And here is where it was at the beginning of 2024. You'd think as much as I love it, I would be further on it. I'm not. But here's where it is. I have on this also gone all the way across the top. So this is as wide as it will be. I've not quite finished this page right here. You can kind of tell where the page is. And have I ironed anything? No. Will you see wrinkles in these? Yes. So I apologize for the crease line all the way across, but it is what it is. I'm not ironing while I'm in the midst of working on things, unless it just gets really, really bad. Pretty sure I can work out that crease line when I pull it in my Q-snap the next time. So, but this is where it is. I will have the list of the DMCs that I am using listed in the description box below. I don't remember what they are, but they are all DMCs. I got the colors from stitchpalettes.com. If you are not familiar with that website, check it out. If you are looking for color combinations, you can look for a picture. They've got pictures if you like the colors in that picture. Like mine was, I chose mine from, it's like a glacier in the snow and stuff, and it gives you the colors, the DMC colors that would go with that picture. And it, so you can kind of, I'm doing a terrible job of describing this website, but it is a fabulous website. So please don't make your judgment on the website based on my description. Go check out stitchpalettes.com. And this is being housed in my little peacock So Much to Love bag. There's no peacocks on here, but these are peacock colors. So this is my peacock bag, and it will forever be called that because these are peacock colors. My favorite colors are teal and purple, which is why this is in teals and blues. No purples. I don't know why. One would think that my favorite colors are peacock colors, teals and purples, that I would have used a peacock picture as my inspiration. I didn't, but that's okay. So my next one is 3 Dolphins. This is another Haid. It is artwork by Carol Cavalaris, and I'm stitching this 1/1 full cross on 28 count easy grid. Here is the cover photo. And here is where it was at the beginning of 2024. I started this in November of 2020. So this is my third and final 2020 piece coming in to 2025 with me. And if you just saw my December recap, you saw this. But I'm going to say some of the same things. So you can see the dolphin coming in right here, the first of the 3 dolphins. Which, see, unlike the Cardinal, where I'm nowhere near a Cardinal, I'm at a dolphin. And it makes it so much more fun. Especially because this one is on Pattern Keeper, which makes it a little easier too. And I can feather a little bit easier as well. I need to finish this page right here. And then I'm going to come up here and I should get into some more dolphin. And then here I should have a lot of dolphin. And I'm very much looking forward to that. So, goals for 2025. See much more of this dolphin. And that one I just finished working on in December, obviously, if it was in my December recap. So it's still on the Q-Snap. It will be put in a bag. The bag is not downstairs, and I'm not going to find it just to show you what bag it's being housed in. So, sorry. I thought I had opened all of my zippers, but this one apparently escaped. Sorry. This next one is Shades of Autumn. It is by Banu Demiral, and it was from the Just Cross Stitch October 2017 magazine. This is the cover photo. And here is where it was at the beginning of 2024. This one I started in March of 2021. Oh, I could show you. So if I did put in a cover photo, it's probably better quality because it's bright colors and not this printed copy, but this is what it's going to look like eventually. And this is being stitched on 32 count color and cotton monster mash. I think this is a gorgeous piece. It's all the fall colors, beautiful. Why can't I stitch on it? Why am I still working on like the top half 3 years later? 3.5 years later, because like I said, I started this in March of 2021. We are getting ready to go into January of 2025. So it will be 4 years old in March, and it is nowhere near done. My little Lucy needle minder, I got her from Fire Poppies, back when Fire Poppies was still in business down in Mount Pleasant, South Carolina. But look at those colors on this purple fabric. Do they not just pop? Are they not just gorgeous? Why am I still working on this? I think part of it is, and it in the magazine, well, I don't have that page out, but it does say it's considered like a medium or hard. Not because there's specialty stitches or anything like that. I think it's just all the color changes. Like, if you look, there is a ton. First of all, every row of this border, literally every row, is a different color. There are 4 different colors in this border. And each line, each diagonal is a different color. And then, like, if you look in here, there's a lot of just color changes. And it's fiddly. I guess that would be the word. This is a fiddly piece. I love it. I'm going to love it when it's done. I'm not a big fan of stitching on it. The fabric's great. The outcome's going to be great. I have to force myself to stitch on it. So that makes it a little harder. And this is housed in my lovely Amazon bag. No shame to the Amazon bag. They're wonderful. They're not expensive. In fact, I just got another set of Amazon bags from my son for Christmas, who didn't know that I was going to be starting 25 new projects in 2025. And when I opened it and I told him that was great because I don't have bags for all 25 projects, he was like, that's going to be a lot of projects. Yeah, I will, but the bags. Aunt Milo, please stop licking the carpet, baby. Thank you. All right, so the next one is Christmas Village Stocking. It is from Kooler Design Studios, and it is being stitched on 28 count antique white Monaco. I'm going to preface showing you this by saying I don't like Monaco. It's crunchy. I'm not a big fan. So again, I feel like I'm complaining about a lot of these. This is housed in a Garon Totten bags. Christmas Mickey Mouse bag. A big one. Look how long this is. I shouldn't be complaining about these pieces. If I didn't like the pieces, I wouldn't be stitching on them. However, some are easier to stitch on than others. Here is what this is going to look like when it's done. Except it will have a name right here. Don't know whose name. Probably mine. I think this is going to be my stocking. I've made stockings for all 5 of my children and my husband. I've stitched stockings for all 5 of my children and my husband. My children's are all made. My husband's still needs to be made into a stocking. So I guess this will be mine unless I decide it needs to be somebody else's in the family. That's what it's going to look like. This is the digitized version. Like you can tell that's not like a stitched cover photo. So it will look a little bit more stitchy when it's done. And here, and nope, didn't serge. Don't know how to serge. Just have ravelly fabric, so ignore. But here's where it is. This needle minder came from Vicky at Stitch and Button in her Christmas bag that she put out 2 years ago. And I have the main part of the stocking, like the top of the stocking done. So now I'm getting into the bottom, the boot, with the toe part. It's getting there. It's not a bad piece. I don't like crunchy fabric, so, and obviously, like I said, I haven't serged it, so the edges are raveling, and, you know, maybe if I serged it or taped them. Do y'all still tape the edges of your pieces? Because I don't have, first, I don't have a serger. I don't have a sewing machine. I could whip stitch it. Probably would be the easiest. But do you tape them? Like many moons ago, I taped the edges of my projects back when I was starting stitching. In the 80s and 90s, I don't know, is that a thing? Does anybody still do that? Now most of the fabric comes nicely bound around the edges with at least the fabric I buy is nicely bound around the edges. So there's that. Okay, this is the last one in this basket, and then we're going to take a break so I can reorganize and get the next basket out. But this one is World of Disney 1 from ZAnna Cross Stitch on Etsy. It is being stitched on 32 count white easy grid 1/1. Very small. 1/1 on 32 count easy grid is very small. I realize there are people who do 1/1 on like 40, 50 count. Great. I'm old. My eyes don't work that way. So 32 count 1/1. It's just enough for me. Here is the cover photo, what it's going to look like. Here is where it was at the beginning of 2024. And here is where it is now. Here's the needle binder. I have no idea where that needle went. There was a needle on this when I folded it up and put it in the bag. Don't know where it is. I think it's in the bag and not on the floor. But here's where it is. This needle binder came from, the Positivity Rules Sal several years ago that I can't remember who was by. I don't want to say the wrong designer. So we're just going to say Positivity Rules, and if you're interested, look that up. Google it. So I've started doing diagonal pages. So I'm finishing up this page. This is also on Pattern Keeper, praise God. So I feather in a little bit if the color I'm using goes into the next page. I do cross country across a page, so I'm filling in. And we'll hopefully finish that page. Y'all, this is going to be a huge project. This is my largest project. It is 900 by 700, I think. Something like that. It's going to be huge. This is a big... I'm not going to unfold it because it looks like a big old tablecloth. It's large. It's going to take me forever. I joked that the Christmas 2 one will take me until 2075. This one I'm going to have to live to be like 300. It'll be done in the year like 23. Something. Maybe. Hopefully. All right, so we're going to take a break. I'm going to take a break. It's going to go right into the next section for you. But I'm going to get organized. I'll be right back. All right, folks, welcome back. Y'all didn't go anywhere. Well, you might have. I don't know. Maybe you took a break while I did. But I am back, and I have 11 more projects to go. I showed you 7. But as you saw, those were all of my full coverages were in, because those are my older WIPs. If it's not a full coverage, I can tend to, finish it in a couple of years, except for like Shades of Autumn, which I don't even know what's going on with that one. But we have a few more to go, so let's jump in, or this is going to be like a movie length video. So the next one is Pretty Little Washington, D.C. by Satsuma Street. Here is the cover photo. Here is where it was at the beginning of 2024. And here's where it is now. It is being stitched on 32 count X-Jude. No, it's not. It's being stitched on 32 count color and cotton Requiem. And I started this on New Year's Day 2023. So it will be 2 years old this week. And it still has a way to go. This is my Peppermint Patty needle minder, also from when Fire Puppies was still in business. I like my Peanuts needle minders. So I have the Washington Monument done, and the Jefferson, no. Yes, I think that's the Jefferson. I could be wrong. It's either Jefferson or Lincoln Memorial. I think it's the Jefferson Memorial. I'm sorry, y'all. I should know this. I've been to D.C. several times. And I'm started on the Capitol point I thought, hey, I could finish this in 2025. And then I went, yeah, no, you can't. Be realistic. So I would like to get some more progress in it in 2025. But will it be done in 2025? Probably not. But that's okay. I am a process stitcher. I enjoy the process. I'm not a product stitcher. I'm not going to have a lot of finishes. This past year, I had, in 2024, hold on. Let's see if I can find it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7. I had 7 finishes, which is more than one every other month. That's a good number for me. I'm hoping to get more than 7 in 2025, but if I don't, that's okay. I enjoy the process. The stitching process is what makes it fun for me. It's relaxing. So, my next one is Petite Rainbow Row, and this is by CW Designs. This is being stitched on 32 count X-Jude baby sheep. I do have a cover in here somewhere. There it is. Here is what it's going to look like. If you are new here, I live in South Carolina. I do not live in Charleston, but I live in South Carolina. But I did a summer in high school. I spent a summer studying at Charleston, College of Charleston, Governor's School summer program, and did a summer learning about Charleston architecture. So we got to visit Rainbow Row. So this is in honor of that summer. This, like I said, is being stitched on 32 count X-Jude baby sheep, and here it was where it was at the beginning of 2024. And I started this in February of 2023. And I have 3 full houses done, and I have started on the 4th. And there are 9 total houses, so not quite 50%. You can't really tell. The fabric is kind of a yellow. It's very pretty. Let's see if putting it up against the whiteboard will. The sun is actually coming out now. It's still overcast though, so. But very pretty. Don't have a needle minder on this one. It needs to find one. This is being housed in a bag made for me by my friend. Sorry, my computer decided to have some issues over here and went crazy. But this was made for me by my friend Carrie, who is the patient stitcher. And when I think of rainbows, Rainbow Row, I think of Irish pots of gold, shamrocks, so it's in my shamrock bag. Sometimes the bags have no meaning for what I put in them, but sometimes they do. I'm going to stop here and start a new video and edit them together because I have a feeling it's going to cut off on me in a second. So I'll be right back. And we're back. Wasn't that fun? Okay, the next one is August. No, it's not. The next one is Running. That literally is the name of it. It is from Light Unicorn Designs on Etsy. And here is the cover photo of what it's going to look like. And here is where it was at the beginning of 2024. And I am stitching this on 40 count Grace Notes Fabrics Pensiero. And I'm stitching this for my child who runs. And here's where it is. I've done an arm. And I've started into her head, or her hair, and her body area. I love this one. This one is fun to stitch. There are a lot of color changes, but there's also several like blocks of color, so it's not all confetti-ish. There's a little bit, not a ton. And this is also housed in an Amazon bag. The next one is August Gnome, and this is from Cross Stitch for Everyone on Etsy, and this is what it's going to look like when it's done. And this is where it was at the beginning of 2024. I started this one in May of 2023. And this is being stitched on 40 count Grace Notes Fabrics Mojito Smoothie, which it's a green color. It's showing up much more gray, but it is a green. But I've done most of his hat and almost done with this little piece of watermelon. My birthday is in August, so I started with the August gnome. I did buy all 12 gnomes. Can't wait to start the next ones, but I'm trying not to start more than one of a series until I finished the one I'm on. So I'm trying to like do the one in the series, then start the next one, because otherwise I'd have 400 WIPs instead of right now 17, going to be 18 by the end of this year, but by the end of 25 it will be a lot more. The next one is Giggles in the Snow. It is from Mirabilia Designs, and right now I am focusing on the little girl. I'm going to do them separately. Right now I'm doing the little girl, and then I'll do the little boy next. But isn't she just precious? This is my first ever Mirabilia, and I'm stitching this on 32 count opalescent white Belfast. And another Peanuts character. This is Linus, also purchased at Fire Puppies many moons ago. And here's where she is. These letters will be complete once I put in the beads, but that will be the last thing I will do because it's beading and I'm not good at it, so I'm going to save it to last and frustrate me at the end instead of in the middle. But I'm going to I'm hoping to get her finished by the end of 2026 so I can start on the boy. That's the goal. We shall see. I have some realistic goals, some not so realistic, but you know, I know that she's not going to be done in 2025. 2026 might be realistic. It requires me actually stitching on her. See, that's the problem. Like, I have some that I absolutely love working on, and I work on them all the time. And I have some that I love working on, and I don't work on them very often. And then I have some that I don't love working on, and I don't work on them very often either. So, yeah, there's that. So the next one is the Fox. Oh, and I forgot to share the last two. So August Gnome is in a barefoot needle art bag, because August, summer. And Giggles in the Snow, also in a barefoot needle art bag, with penguins, because snow, penguins, of course. So the next one is the Fox by Cottage Garden Samplings. Speak slowly. And this is what it's going to look like. Sorry about the glare. I started him in August of 2023. And he is being stitched on 32 count Picture This Plus Nocturne. And this is what he looked like at the beginning of 2024. And here is where he is now. If I put my mind to it, this one I think I could finish this year. Actually, there's a lot of them I probably could finish this year if I put my mind to it. But this one, I'm thinking about making my my travel piece for the spring, for when I go to my youngest's soccer games, because I could probably get some decent work on him at her soccer games. Of course, you know, you never know. There it is. Hold on just one moment. You're going to see the top of my head for a second. But I dropped the little, upside down, my fabric tag. And this is housed in a bag that was gifted to me. And I wish I could remember who gifted it to me, because it's quite cute. But I don't remember, and I'm sorry. I'm sorry to whoever you are that gifted that to me. Alright, the next one is Home of the Brave by Hands On Design in a lovely Amazon bag. Here is the cover photo. And here is where it was at the beginning of 2024. I started this in September of 2023. I'm stitching this on 32 count antique white. This is one of the few pieces on white that's not full coverage. I don't really like white. I am stitching Giggles in the Snow on white, but it's opalescent, so it's a little bit fun. It's not just white. And antique white isn't white, but it's close enough. But got my little patriotic needle minder that I got from, pretty sure from Etsy. Could be wrong. Might have been from Vicky at Stitch and Button. But here's where I am. I've got Land of the Free and then the beginning of the home of, and most of the flagpole. Oh, I didn't realize I do have the cover photo in here. Here's where what it's gonna look like. And this is by Hands On Design, if I didn't say that. I don't remember. But this one is another one that I am planning to finish in 2025. That one also would be a good travel project. So I might make, I don't know. Soccer games start in February. I have a couple months to figure it out. And it will depend on when it gets called, what gets called for WIP Go, things like that. January calls have already been done. The two projects that are my January projects for my WIP Go board are Pretty Little Washington, D.C. and 3 Dolphins. So those will get those and my 2 new starts for January will get most of my focus. Christmas 2. My oldest WIP, that's also a focus. It was a focus this past year. It will be a focus this year. I'm really hoping to keep making progress on that. And Rosetta, because I want to finish that one and get it framed. Hang it on the wall, because it's pretty. We haven't gotten to Rosetta yet. That's the next one. So this is Rosetta by Ink Circles. Here is the cover photo. That's what the stitching is going to look like, but it's not the coloring. I've changed the colors to where each medallion will have its own color. And I started this again this past January because there was an accident with the fabric and there was a stain on it that I found. And I brought it out for my WIP Parade last year. So I had to restart it in January. This is being stitched on 40 count Grace Notes Sparkling Grape. So there will be no more starting photos because these last 3 were all started in 2024. Got a nice little butterfly needle minder. Like I said, each medallion has its own color. I will put the colors below in the description box. The outline is being stitched in Week Style Works Kohl. Right now I'm working on this one. obviously, and it is being stitched in Weeks Dye Works Julep. And I just have that one and the outline and the bottom 4 medallions. So this is easily a 2025 finish if I make it a focus for 2025. It was for 2024. I did 1,000 stitches every month and made all of that progress. So I got 2 of the 3 rows almost completely done, so I should easily finish. This is being housed in a So Much to Love Mickey Mouse bag because this is my favorite project and this is my favorite bag because of the Mickey Mouses. This next one is Have Faith by Cottage Garden Samplings, and this is housed in a Garon Totten bags. Moth, butterfly, greens, blues, teals. My favorite colors. I think the cover photo. Ooh, I am so sorry. Yes, the cover is in here. This is Have Faith. I am stitching this with my friend Carrie from The Patient Stitcher. She is much farther along than I am. She's already finished this bird. And he's gorgeous, by the way. She has beautiful stitching. So here, no, I told you I would not be showing any more starts because this was a new start in 2024. I started it in March of this year. This is being stitched on 40 count pewter. Oh, and I forgot to say, Rosetta is being stitched on 40 count Grace Note Sparkling Grape. You'll see a pattern the last like half of what I've been stitching on in order. When I found Grace Note, when Grace Notes fabric started dyeing fabric and selling fabric, most of my pieces since then have been started on Grace Notes fabrics. I love their fabrics. I will have them linked below as well. But here's where I am. I have the house. I have some of the plant. I have some of the border that you can't really see. There we go. It's white. Once I add the blue, you'll be able to see it. I've got some personalization down in here where I was stitching on this at one of my youngest soccer games this past fall and lost my place in the middle of the game because I was watching the game and stitching at the same time, and yeah, that did not work out for me during that little piece, but it was easily adapted. And this needle minder is from Vicky at Stitch and Banu. I had to. When Fire Poppies went out of business, I had to get my Peanuts needle minders from somewhere. Peanuts and Disney. Those are my favorite fandoms, I guess you could say. Sorry, I found a pattern that I did not put in the right bag. I didn't put it in the bag at all, so I need to put it in the bag before I forget. And it gets misplaced, because that would not be good. There we go. If I don't stay organized, this will become a hot mess, and I don't have small children anymore. I just have dogs that get into stuff. All right, so the next one is my newest start. I started this on Christmas Day this year. This is 2023 Nutcracker from Shannon Christine. And 2023. I did buy the 2024. That one will get started in probably like 2026. I'll keep buying them as she brings them out. She's supposed to be releasing a new one every year. I'll buy them. I'll get to them eventually. We're supposed to live forever, right? You know, that's the whole purpose. So you buy the projects and the patterns and the supplies so that you live inevitably till you run out. Well, if you keep buying, you have to live forever because you won't run out. That's how it works, at least in my brain. So my needle minder says cross stitch is the best part of my day, which is very true. And here's my start. I started at his hat. I am a top stitcher. I start at the top, work my way down. It's hard for me. I've got some projects where I started in the middle and I had to work that. I stopped doing it that way. Because it's just easier for me to start. I either work top down or left to right. And this is housed in the Christmas bag that Vicki at Stitch and Button put out 2 years ago. It was kind of like an advent box, but she put everything in the bag. So the bag was, you know, your first gift. And then there was a pattern and some other things. In fact, the pattern that came in this is one of my new starts for 2025. So that's all of my active WIPs from 2024. And then I will have one more that I will be starting on New Year's Eve on Tuesday. And it is Hands-On Design, a year of celebrations. And it will be the February piece. I did the January one. I started it on New Year's Eve of 2023. No, it didn't take me a whole year to do it. But, so this is the only finish that I have to show you. Let's see, I love Grace Notes fabric so much I have a needle minder that says Grace Notes Fabrics. I'll be using this fabric for all 12. Well, I have several pieces of this fabric, but it is, hold please. What fabric is this? It is 32 count flax Belfast linen. I knew I had it somewhere. So all 12 months will be stitched on 32 count flax Belfast linen. I need to take January out of the Q-snap. It did actually kind of take me all year. I finished this in November. No, I didn't. I finished it in October. Don't ask me why. It is still on the Q-snap in the bag. I need to take it off and move the Q-snap so I can start February on Tuesday. But that's it. That's all of them. And it wasn't even a full hour. Not quite. So thank you all for hanging out with me, for going through my WIPs with me. Which one was your favorite? I have several, but like I said, Rosetta is my favorite. And then it's hard to go from there because I have a lot. I have a lot that I love. I have several that, like I said, aren't necessarily my favorites, but I love what they're going to look like when they're done, so they stay. I'm not at the point. I have UFO'd in the past, but nothing that I have still is UFOable, if I can make that a word. But y'all, I hope that 2025 will see you happy and healthy and stitching. Bye, y'all.